that speeding train.
Haven't thought that far ahead.
Of course not.
Okay, here we go.
No, hold on. Almost there. Just now. Jump!
Hey, what's up everyone? PersNikity here, moving on with the Uncharted 2 Brutal walkthrough, and we're moving to Chapter 13, Locomotion. Now, this one's pretty tough. Chapters 13 and 14 both are going to be quite difficult. Chapter 14, in my opinion, is definitely the harder of the two, but that doesn't mean you can rule out Chapter 13. And you can see from the size of this video, or the length of this video, it's relatively shorter than some of the other videos, but that doesn't mean it is easier. It is going to be pretty difficult, and hopefully this walkthrough will help get you through it. I think there's an achievement or a trophy for beating this level in a certain amount of time, but you're going to want to do that on a different playthrough, because on Brutal it's going to be near impossible. And you're going to notice the video cut in a lot of different places, and that of course is from a lot of deaths, and so I'll try to point those out when they happen, but they should be fairly obvious because the train will actually continue to roll, and your checkpoint, you'll respawn in the same scenery where you die, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, I guess, but for the first part here, we can actually use a lot of stealth to take out some of these guys. So you'll see that in the train car ahead, there's a couple soldiers, and I'm waiting for them to turn their backs so that I can take out this guy right here, push him off the edge like that. Then you're going to jump into this train car. There's going to be a couple guys to worry about, and this is, like I said, where you can utilize stealth. Now, the good thing about being on the train is that there are only two ways the enemies can approach you, either from the front or the back. Most of the time, they're going to approach you from the front, and that means you can really utilize blind firing. Now, the bad thing is, they can sometimes crawl on top of the train, and if they do that, they can sneak up behind you and ruin a really good playthrough, which happened to me numerous times. But you'll see there, I took out the first three enemies with stealth, shot the last guy, and then as you go through this train car, this guy's going to sneak through the window to try to take you out, and you're going to be pretty much forced to do hand-to-hand combat with him, so make sure you finish that. As for weapon choices, again, you're going to want to usually go with the weapon that has the most ammo. Really, either weapon can be beneficial here. The assault rifles are always good no matter what situation you're in, but of course, since we are in tightly compact train cars, shotguns can also be very effective. Now, I'm going to take out this guy right here. Again, you'll notice a video cut right there because I died later on, but I felt like that was a good place to cut it. But you can take that guy out with stealth. You're going to creep into this car here, and you'll see that there's a couple guys you need to worry about. And later on, I believe it's in the next car, there's actually a turret that is going to cause quite a problem. And so you don't want to get too close to that, otherwise the turret will take you out. So again, we're really just kind of sticking to our stealth approach here with that guy. Then this guy, I'm going to shoot him in the head from behind. Now, once I shoot him, that's when the enemies start getting aware of my location, and that's when the turret's going to start firing. So one guy's going to drop into here, but that is also very inconsistent. Like I said, sometimes the enemies, they'll actually crawl on the roof of the train, and they'll sneak up behind you. So you just got to kind of be really vigilant. But the point is, what you're looking for is two enemies, because this section, once you shoot that guy, there's going to be three enemies you have to worry about. Two regular enemies, and then one behind the turret. Now, the guy behind the turret, he's the least of your concerns, because it's relatively easy to dodge a turret. You just can't get in its direct path. It's the foot soldiers that cause more of a problem, because you really have a hard time of seeing where they are, given the layout of this level. So what I recommend doing is actually ditching the train car, and you can crawl along the side here, and you can use this ladder to kind of get a better vantage point. And you can see it worked out, because I was able to locate the other two guys and see that, okay, they're in the train car. So what am I going to do? If they're not in the train car, they could be on the roof, they could be trying to sneak up behind me, and so you're going to have to kind of be, adaptable and change your approach based on where the enemies are. But what I decided to do was go up onto the rooftops here, because on this rooftop there is cover that you can take advantage of. And so as long as you don't get in the sight of that turret, you should be fine. And keep in mind, there are a lot of grenades to be found in this section, but you're going to want to try to save those as much as you can, because those will be invaluable later on. And so what I did was I decided to jump over because I didn't see the enemies any longer, and that meant that they were trying to sneak up on me. And so you see, right here, things got a bit chaotic. I was getting shot at from numerous directions, and this is what I mean. This is why this section here, it's kind of hard to make a walkthrough for, because it's just very inconsistent. The enemies are going to come at you from different locations each time. So the best piece of advice I can give you is to just be adaptable and really just kind of utilize the sides of the train cars. A lot of people don't realize that you can shimmy your way along the sides of these train cars, and that can often give you a much better vantage point. So unfortunately, I can't give any better advice than that, simply because, like I said, the enemies are always behaving differently in this part. But those general tips should be able to save you. And then you see, I decided it was beneficial to just use the grenade for the turret guy. It's usually wise to save the grenades, but after all that section can be really difficult, so I just wanted to get it over with. And so now you're going to see that you're going to have to jump on top of the train cars here, and you're going to have to dodge these things, these like railroad crossing signs, but at the same time there's going to be enemies shooting at you, and you can see you can actually use those railroad signs to your advantage. So as long as you duck out of the way, let the enemies get on the train car and come to you, and if you play it right, they'll actually get hit by the signs and fall off, saving you ammo, saving you effort, and saving you a lot of anger that you don't need to go through. And so just kind of keep making your way down the train. I'd say probably the hardest section is out of the way. We do still have to fight the helicopter, and I know that sounds like a daunting task. But if you know what you're doing, it shouldn't take that many tries. Maybe you'll even get it on your first try, but you know, it can be challenging. But as long as you know kind of what to expect, and that's again what this walkthrough is for, you should be able to get through it relatively easily. I'd say the first part is definitely harder. And like I said earlier, Chapter 14 is going to be way harder than this one. So I don't know, sometimes when I play this game, I kind of dread beating Chapter 13 because I know what's in store for me in Chapter 14. Now this part can actually be pretty tough because there's nowhere to use alternative cover. There's 3 enemies here, and unfortunately they're all kind of far off. That kind of eliminates our chances of hitting them with blind fire, because the distances are just so great that, you know, you might exhaust all of your ammo and only get 1 or 2 hits. So really, you're just going to have to be a little patient, and in between gunshots, just pop up and try to get a couple shots on it. And of course, it's made even harder by the fact that the train is, you know, not going in a very straight path, and so the track is winding, and that alters your shot a bit. But again, you get a checkpoint, you know, pretty close to this part, so you should be okay. It's just going to take a little practice. I think I died maybe like 3 or 4 times on that part. But anyway, make your way down, and once you fall through the roof, that's when the helicopter will automatically join into the mix. Now the helicopter's not your biggest threat here, because the helicopter, it shoots in bursts, and as long as you're in cover, the helicopter can't do any damage to you. The real danger comes from the foot soldiers that attack you while the helicopter is also shooting at you, because then you have to worry about taking cover, but you also have to worry about, you know, shooting the enemies before they're able to get too close to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprint up to this location here and take cover right here, and then I'm going to sprint up again, take cover, and you should be able to dodge the helicopter shots, and once that happens, numerous enemies are going to drop down. Now this is why I recommended saving your grenades, because you can actually take out quite a few of those guys with just 1 grenade. I think I got 2 of them right there, and then you're just going to use your gun to take out the rest. Now again, the helicopter is not your biggest threat, but it still is going to be dangerous, of course. Now once you get to this train car, you're actually going to get a checkpoint, so that's good news. And so you see there's like kind of an awkward video cut there, but basically you're going to shimmy along the side of this train car to avoid getting hit by the helicopter. Once you get to the corner here, you're going to want to wait. You're going to want to wait for the helicopter to exhaust its bullets, and then in between shots, that's when you're going to make a run for it. So you see how I'm just kind of waiting, and then as soon as that helicopter's done shooting, I'm going to hop up and sprint as fast as I can along this path here. And you can see I'm saving myself a lot of trouble by skipping all of this. And what's going to happen is now enemies are going to drop down from the helicopter. So you might want to get your assault rifle ready, and you can shoot the guys with the assault rifles, because you see how this guy has a shotgun, and that's why I wasn't nervous, because I knew that he wouldn't be able to hurt me from long distances. Now once I took out all of those guys, of course, again, I just sprinted up and took cover to avoid the helicopter. Now I still have one grenade left at this point, and unfortunately there's two enemies that are going to take cover in this green car up ahead, and they don't really like to move. They like to stay there in safety. And so the problem, of course, becomes if you don't take them out quick enough, the helicopter's going to destroy this train car with you on it, and then you're really screwed. So if you have any grenades, throw them in there, and then as soon as you can, you're going to run into here. Now, if you don't have any grenades, just pick one enemy and shoot one at a time. Again, I know it's easier said than done, but it just kind of comes with practice. And once you get to this car, you're going to take out the rocket launcher, shoot at the helicopter so that it diverts its path, and then once it's out of the way, you can run over to this red wheel here, turn the crank, open the door, and then you'll be done with Chapter 13. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. I hope this helped. I know it's a tough chapter and it's really tough to make a walkthrough for, but I really hope it helps. So see you in the next video.